Good morning, Mumbai. I said good morning. अरे काय वडापाव मिसळ पाव श्रीखंड कुठे गेलं सगळं? गुड मॉर्निंग मुंबई. मुंबई 3 गोष्टींसाठी प्रसिद्ध आहे. बॉलिवूड, वडापाव आणि 8 दिवसांनी येतोय आपल्या सगळ्यांचा लाडका गणेशोत्सव. तर होऊन जाऊ दे एकदा गणपती बाप्पा मंगल मूर्ती. Okay, so we all are software engineers here, developers, testers, designers. And if given a choice of those eating kinds and those surfing kinds, both of them are labhari, but still, given a choice of eating kind and the surfing kind, which one we are going to choose? Which one we are going to choose? Okay, so in software industry, when we have 2 candidates in front of us, and we want to find out which one is the better one, what is the typical technique that we employ? Interviews. That's what we are going to do. We are going to interview the surfing kind jelly beans, and then we are going to interview the eating kind jelly beans, and then we are going to see which one is good one, which one is a smarter candidate. So we all are ready for interviewing the surfing kind jelly beans? Yes, no? Yes. Cool. So as you can see, as you can see, my mobile phone is projected on both screens, and let's start with a very simple question, a telephonic round as you can say. Who is the Prime Minister of India?
The Prime Minister of India is Manmohan Singh.
I'm kidding, you know. Manmohan Singh has been the Prime Minister before the first version was launched. Who knows? That information is there in the operating system. Public static final Prime Minister is equal to Manmohan Singh. Nobody knows. So let's try out something else this time. Let's try out something else. Who is the President of India?
The President of India is Pranab Mukherjee.
And now how many of you knew this information? You want to see some more fun? This is, what I demonstrated just now, is a product called Google Now. And let's see some more fun before we move ahead. Probably some things that you might not know. What is the age of Kareena Kapoor?
Kareena Kapoor is 31 years old.
And I have no business in going in personal lives of these Bollywood stars. But still, one last question because I am on this topic. How old is Saif Ali Khan?
Saif Ali Khan is 42 years old.
Okay, so what I demonstrated just now is the product called Google Now. And as you might be aware, Google Now is exactly what its name indicates. Google Now. Taking the now, the present, with you wherever you go, whenever you go. Let me give you a quick example to explain what I mean by taking the present. What is the weather outside?
It's 29 degrees with haze in Mumbai.
So I did not say what is the weather in Mumbai. I did not specifically say the location like Goregaon or something. I just said what is the weather outside. It was able to understand my location, extract the weather information, and present it to you. It's not about hard-coding words like what is the weather outside, or these words, these questions have not been hard-coded. I'll give you an example. I'm from Bangalore, so let's find out what is the weather in Bangalore today. Is it raining in Bangalore right now?
No, it isn't raining in Bangalore. It's 22 degrees and partly cloudy.
Cool, so? So this was Google Now, and as I said, it's about taking the present, the information with you wherever you go and whenever you go. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big hand to Google Now.
I feel good. I knew that I would.
Let's try something else. Now that I am on the topic of jelly beans, before moving ahead, I want to show you a couple of more interesting things that have enhancements that have been done in jelly beans. So as you can see over here on the screen, You can see a missed call from Sushil, and look at what I'm doing. This is a 2-finger gesture if you are not aware of this. I can move off the actions or I can show the actions. Associating custom actions with notifications is something that has been newly introduced in Jelly Beans. Before that, there were only notifications, but now the application developers have freedom to add or associate actions with these notifications. For example, if you are developing a game, probably when a player comes online, you want to add actions like say hi or send a message or something like that. When a mail comes, you probably have a method, you probably have actions to reply back or forward or something like that. As a concrete example, a missed call notification has 2 actions, obvious actions associated with them, either call back or send a message. And these actions can be made visible or can be hidden using a 2-finger gesture as I am doing just now. There is yet another thing in Jelly Beans that I want to demonstrate before I go ahead. As you can see, there are a couple of personalized cards which will tell you relevant information based on your recent searches, your recent check-ins, and the other stuff that you have done online. So for example, I just commuted from ITC Maratha, so it is showing me, I did not feed this information. It understood on its own, and it is showing me the route to ITC Maratha, and there is a heavy traffic. So it's going to show me the live traffic update on this map. And of course, there are a couple of more cards that will show me the weather. If I've done some flight searches, it will show me flight information. If I've done some check-ins, it will show me the time to the flight and all that. So that is all about Android, Jelly Beans, and Google Now. And as I have been again and again saying, this is primarily for taking your Nav or your present with you everywhere that you go. Please give a big hand to Android before we move ahead.
I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. I feel good.
So what I'm going to do in, say, next 30 minutes or so, or what I did in last 10 minutes, is to take one Google product each and demonstrate how they can make your life more beautiful, how these products can change the experience or change the way you live, how they can make you feel good. So I talked about Android and Google Now, Jelly Beans and Google Now. Let's move on to a different product, Google Chrome probably. So most of you, I'm sure, are like me, who have more than one devices on which you operate on a daily basis. So for example, you have your home computer, you have your office laptop, and probably you have an Android tablet where you continue searching, browsing, and doing your online activities. So let's take a typical scenario. I wake up, I get ready for the office, and while I'm waiting for my office cab, I decided to go on Chrome and, say, browse some newspapers. So here I am, launch Chrome, let's say my favorite newspaper, thehindu.com. Let's see if e-Sakar opens. And probably being a techie, I also want to see what is happening in the technical world. So sounds nice. Some social finance. Okay, let's assume that I want to read more about this news. So I click on this news. I go on the details page and I'm reading all this stuff. So I'm doing all this browsing and my cab driver gives me a call. So what it means is that the cab is ready. I must go in the cab and I'll have to go to the office. So I pack my bag, I go to the cab. In a normal scenario, suppose I have not yet really finished this article reading. What I'll go is I'll typically go to the office, launch my browser, again go to that URL, type over there, start browsing, go to this specific news item, start reading. If I'm really enthusiastic, really eager, very much interested in knowing what has happened in this news, open the browser on my mobile probably, recollect what was the URL, or otherwise do a Google search, get the URL, and start browsing. Let's see how Chrome can make a difference to our lives. So now I am in the cab, and I want to launch Chrome on my mobile. So you can see my desktop on this side, and you can see the mobile on this side. I want to launch Chrome. And as you can see, all the 3 tabs that were recently opened on my desktop are exactly synced as they are on my Chrome. There is something called e-Sakal, there is Hindu, and there are some news on the TechCrunch. So this is the real-time sync that happens without absolutely any trouble once you sign in into Chrome on multiple locations. It's not just a real-time sync, but there is something more to it. Let's go to that TechCrunch news that I was reading. Okay, so here is that news. And let's see what happens when I press the back button. It is taking me to that previous page, which was the previous page on my desktop. So it is even remembering the browser history, and it is syncing the browser history across the multiple browsers. Please, this much is not enough. Please give a big hand to Chrome Tab Sync.
I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't.
So how many of you are aware of something called Chrome Web Store? A lot of them. So I don't want to demonstrate about Chrome Web Store. For those who have not heard of what is a Chrome Web Store, Chrome Web Store effectively emphasizes on the idea that your browser is your operating system and your web applications are, or applications on Chrome are your applications installed on this operating system. So as you can see, for those who are not aware, you can see there is a small, on the right side you can see there is a small link called Web Store. If you go to the Web Store, there will be a lot of applications over there. You can install a couple of them, and installing these applications is not like going through 5 steps and say I accept, next, next. It's just one click install, go and experiment with it. I'm running because I have to demonstrate a couple of more products, and instead of showing all the features of one product, it's always nice if we show multiple products, one feature, so that you are motivated to go back and try them out on your own. So this was all about Google Chrome. Let's move on to something else called Google Drive. How many of you have used Google Drive? So what is Google Drive? It's your hard drive on cloud. It goes wherever you go. So for this Google Drive demo, I'm going to invite my colleague Gaurav on stage, who will assist us during the demo. Can we have Gaurav on stage, please? Please give a big hand to Gaurav Shinde. So now on my computer, I'm going to go to drive.google.com. As you can see, you already know this is a drive on cloud. Let me create a new application. Let's assume that we are going to do some random brainstorm in front of each other. And this is a very common office situation. I'm sitting in Bangalore over here, and Gaurav might be probably in New York on Mountain View office. And suppose we want to talk on, or we want to discuss a couple of stuffs regarding, things regarding, say, yesterday's interview, or a design document, or brainstorming notes, or something like that. In a typical scenario, what I'll do, or what people do, is write an email, probably put an attachment, send an email, and then somebody replies, and then there is a chain of replies that go on. Let's see if this behavior, this experience can be altered and made slightly better, much better using Google Drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a document. Let's call it, let's create a document. What shall we call it? Vada Pav Rocks? Okay, cool. So I have a document over here, and I'm going to share it with Gaurav. So I share it, add name, shinde.gdays@gmail.com. Share and save. Done. You can see Gaurav's laptop on this screen, my laptop on this screen, and you can see that Gaurav has opened the document. And on the right hand side, you can see on my screen or his screen, there is one other viewer. It is going to say who all are the current viewers for this document. Now Gaurav has added a line, and he has started typing on his screen, on his computer, and you can see that every character is synced in real time, even on my computer while I'm standing over here. Please say goodbye to your emails and document attachments and to and fro mailers. It's just one document you share across people, and whatever one person types, it's visible real time to all the other persons. And what happens if somebody cheats? If somebody writes something, deletes and says, I never wrote this ever? Well, there is something called revision history, you can go to file, you can say see revision history, and no person who is collaborating on a document can ever cheat. This is a character by character revision history. It will tell you which character was typed by which user at what time in the entire process. So, okay, so cool. Yeah, two Marathi boys can only talk about vada pav. Okay, so let's do something interesting. We actually can talk about a lot more, but let's talk about it later on. So I'm going to type something probably on top, and then you can see that is being synced on his computer as well. But now this is, you already clapped for this, right? So I'm not supposed to tell it again. Something interesting. This kind of online syncing or this kind of being on the network is okay if we are in United States or some Western countries, but this is India. Power cuts, network failures are very common. A couple of weeks ago, entire North India it went in dark, right? So this is going to happen that we are on the same document, we are probably typing, we are collaborating in the real time, and somehow the network goes off. So I'm going to do something pretty risky. I'm going to plug off my network cable. Look at this, Wi-Fi is already off over here, my screen this side, and I'm going to plug off the network cable, and I'm completely offline now. Obviously, because I'm offline, whatever Gaurav types over here, I cannot see, and whatever I type over here, Gaurav cannot see. Obviously, he is not in Bangalore, he is not in Mumbai, he is not with me, he is probably in New York office, so he has no clue about this network issue. So he continues typing on his system, and I continue typing on my system. And see that Gaurav also added a picture from yesterday. This was the best picture award, this picture won the best picture award yesterday on the technology day. So he has added a picture over there. I'm typing a couple of things over here, and obviously nothing is going to sync. And on my screen, if you see, there is some electric bar over here. It says that you are offline. So it's able to detect that you are not on the network. That is why you're not able to sync. And now let's see what happens. Probably some magic might happen when I go online. So let me try to go online. Okay, I'm online now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Within 8 seconds, the entire sync happens, and whatever was on his system goes on my system. Whatever is on my system goes on his system. Please give a big hand to real-time sync enabled by Google Drive. Can I have my computer on the both screens now again? Again, I told you I don't want to go in more details about Drive. There are a lot of interesting things, but let me show you 2 more things. So last month, I went to Barcelona for another conference, and I took a taxi over there, and I did not remember to send it for reclaiming expenses and all that. I just uploaded on the Drive. I have no clue where is that, what was the name of the file and all that. Only thing I remember is that there was some word called as taxi printed in that document, which is even scanned. It's not even a document, it's a scanned receipt which is uploaded. Let's see if I can find it out. So the only thing that I remember is probably the document has the word taxi. So let's see, let me search. Observe that it was able to do the image recognition. Can you find where is the word taxi in this image? Right corner, you can't see probably from here. Let me try to make it full screen. Somewhere here on the right corner, there is a word called taxi, which is printed, which is not even written in the document. It was able to do the character recognition, and it was able to search the image based on the characters present in the image. So it is one step beyond just doing a normal text-based search. It is a character recognition that you can do on your Google Drive. There is one more interesting thing which makes Google Drive way, way better than your normal drive. You cannot even think about it. Let's see what happens in this next example. I want to do I want to search for an apple. There are a couple of pictures. None of the picture has the word apple in its description or the title or even in the image. Let's see what happens. In the first image is the image of Apple logo. It was able to understand that this is an apple and it was able to search it. This is not hard-coded example. I cooked it like half an hour ago and I'm demonstrating over here. There is something else. There are 3 pictures, right? Let's see what is this third picture. It's actual apple. So it is able to recognize this image and it showed me as it was an apple. Let's see what is the second image. Okay, it is a sketch. It's not even an apple per se, just a sketch. It understood that it was a sketch of an apple and it searched it for me and showed it for me. So image search is not just based to the character recognition in the image, or the search is not just based on the description or title of the document, but is also contextual search. It will understand your query. It will look for the objects that look like your query and present them to you. Please give a big hand to the image search brought to you by Google Drive.
I knew that I wouldn't. I feel good. I knew that I
Okay, so we are done with Android. We are done with Chrome. We are done with Google Drive. How about Hangouts? What is a Hangout? What is a Hangout? What is a Hangout? Video conference. So the common misconception about the Hangout is a video conference. Interestingly, Hangouts magic starts where video conferences magic ends. To show you that, I'm going to give you a next demonstration about how to use Hangouts. So let's start a Hangout. Initial part is probably you all have already done. So let's start with the Hangout. And this time I'm going to invite Gaurav, who we went in a school together probably 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Probably.
I went 8 years ago. I don't.
I went 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Okay. So we went in school about 7 years ago, and after the school, after the college, after the degree, we have never met each other. I'm probably in India, he's somewhere in US. And then one fine evening, he pings me saying, "Hey Neelesh, I heard you're working in Google Bangalore. I am in Bangalore, let's catch up." And then, a common thing would be, yeah, sure, I would love to meet you, let's catch up on this weekend, and these 4 folks were also in my R group, let's invite them and all that. This is a normal scenario. If he was a really good friend, even if I said that I wanted to meet you on this weekend and all that, I suddenly probably remember some memories which I about our college days and all that, and my first feeling that comes to me is that I want to catch up with this guy right here, right now. So instead of saying, "Hey Gaurav, let's meet," I'm going to say, "Hey Gaurav, let's hang out." So that's what we are going to do. Let's start a hangout and invite Gaurav in this hangout. Start a hangout. shinde.gdays@gmail.com. Okay, some hangout inviting. Now again you can see Prasanna's screen on that side. He got an invitation on chat from me to join the hangout. He's going to join the hangout. And you can see me on this screen and Gaurav in the hangout. Okay, so this is obviously like video conference. What's great in it? But what happens when 2 old friends, really good friends meet? Probably catch up for a movie, right? Let's catch up with a movie. So Gaurav, I remember we used to watch Zapat Leela a lot of times, right? So let's go over there. Can you call me for invite for a movie? Gaurav added a YouTube app on his screen. It asks me, "Do you want to use a YouTube app?" I said, "Okay." So now there is a YouTube application which is tightly integrated with the Hangout. Let me search for, say, add videos to the playlist. Okay, Zapat Leela full movie. Okay, this sounds good. Add, back, and then the movie starts. And you can see that the place where I am playing on this screen is exactly where he is playing on this screen. Let's see what happens if we seek somewhere else. When I seek on this, even his computer gets seeked to exactly that location. Okay, so it is, so it's just like an experience of two friends coming together and watching a movie in a movie. How many of you have watched this movie, by the way? Okay, is it a nice movie? Okay, let's say something else, you know, probably some yet interesting application. I can continue showing this movie. Let's go to yet another application that has been integrated with Hangouts, Scott and Doodle. It's a common canvas where we can probably draw. So you can see on Gaurav's screen, he's also drawing something. On my screen, I'm also drawing something. And you cannot draw?
I'm
Okay. Okay. So that pink thing and red thing. So this is exactly like two friends right in same place, probably watching a movie or probably playing some jokes or probably making comments on their past teachers or whatever, you know. So this is what I mean when I say Google Hangouts is one step beyond a video conference. It's not just a video conference, there are a lot of more things, there are cool effects. For example, in drama in college, he acted like a pirate, so then there are some cool Google effects where you just click, you will see his face changed into a pirate's face and all that. I'm not demonstrating them. I hope it works.
Don't say hope it works.
I think there are too many applications, so you want to invite me? Yeah, you can see on this.
I look like.
So, okay, so this is, okay, and when he moves, the props are going to move along with him. So it's a real-time face detection which is going on over here, right? So this is what I mean when I say Hangouts is video conference plus 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 plus. There is this Google effects, there is YouTube integration, there is games integration, and a lot of cool things. So before moving ahead, please give a big hand to Google Hangouts.
I feel good. I knew that I would not. I feel good. I knew that
Yeah,
I
so-
would not.
Okay, thanks. Pardon? Thanks, Gaurav. And so you want to see something more interesting? So we talked about what? We talked about Google Nav. We talked about Chrome Web Store. We talked about Chrome Tab Sync. We talked about Hangouts. We talked about document collaboration. How many of you know there are something called as indoor maps? Very few of them. So it's like worth showing. Let's do this quick search. Let me go to maps.google.com. I hope you know there is a product called maps.google.com. Yes, cool. So I'll tell you what you don't know. Let's search for something called Philips Light Studio, Hyderabad. Okay, so this is Philips Light Studio, Hyderabad. As usual, nothing great over here. It's showing me a location of this light studio. On the left-hand side, it's showing me the address, more details, and a picture. Let's see what happens when I click on this picture. It actually took me inside the light studio, and it's not just that. I can walk in the light studio and see what is going on where. And this is made possible by Google Maps team, where we actually go inside the stores, take the snaps, and combine them to present it on the maps. It's not just Live Studio one example, but there are thousands of such examples. There is entire Amazon River has been mapped on Google like this. There is the art gallery that has been mapped. So let's browse and see this cool experience. So you can even you can move ahead, you can probably zoom in, I think, to see what is going on. So this is what is brought to you by Google Maps team, and this is the magic of indoor maps. So please give a big hand once for the last time for Google Maps.
I knew that I would not. I feel good.
You want to see something more?
I knew
No. Hungry? Want tea? Okay. So, but this all was like a Googler talking about various Google products. Obviously, I'm excited about Google products. That's why I'm at Google. But it would be more interesting if a third party, a company who has used these Google applications, these APIs, Google services, and built a profitable business around it comes here and speaks about that product. So let me invite on stage CTO and co-founder of Orangescape, Mani Doraiswamy, and his colleague Vivek, who are going to come over here and demonstrate how they used Google services and applications to build a profitable business around them. Welcome, Mani.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mani Doraiswamy.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mani Doraiswamy, and this is Vivek Madurai. Both of us are from Orangescape. And we are here to talk about a new product called KissFlow. So before we go into KissFlow, I had a very interesting discussion with Gaurav, who wore his pirate hat earlier. Right? So Gaurav is actually traveling around the world by sailing. So he's a Mumbaiker who is going to travel around the world. And interestingly, to get the sponsor, he wrote to Vig Gundotra. Today morning, Sunil talked about flat hierarchy. And today morning, this guy wrote a mail directly to Vig Gundotra asking for sponsorship. So wish him luck, as well as, hats off to Google's flat hierarchy. Right. Why did I talk about Vig Gundotra? KissFlow was launched at the same stage when Vig Gundotra introduced all the Google products. So we launched this product at San Francisco a couple of months earlier in the same stage, and we are honored to have the same stage as Vig Gundotra. And this was also featured in TechCrunch. So Neelesh talked about one end of the applications, especially the consumer applications. What we are going to talk about today is the other end, the enterprise end of applications. Most of you are developers. Some of you would have developed social consumer applications. Some of you would be interested in developing enterprise applications. Now, what we thought we would give you an introduction is to how you can build such enterprise class applications on Google Cloud. That will be the focus of today's presentation. So what is KissFlow? First of all, what is Kiss? From people who have not attended yesterday's session, what is a Kiss? Right, yeah, that's a technology crowd, right? So it means keep it simple and stupid. But that sounds a little arrogant, so we call it keep it simple and smart workflow. That is what KissFlow is all about. Neelesh talked about going to Barcelona, taking this cab invoice and then coming back and then applying it for reimbursement. When you do that, you typically attach it in your Google Drive and then you send it as a mail to your manager, and the manager approves it and then he sends it to the finance department. This is what typically happens on Google Apps. But then when the organization grows bigger, it's very hard to track them using emails, right? That's when you need a sophisticated enterprise application like a workflow. That's what Google Cloud is all about. There are two products. One is called Google App Engine and the other one is called Google Cloud SQL, which allows you to build that application. But then to build applications on Google Cloud, you need to be a developer, in fact, a superhero with knowledge on Python, Java, Bigtable, and SQL. That's a pretty steep jump when you are used to developing simple applications on Google Apps. So we thought, how would it be if we can leverage the power of Google App Engine, but make the user interface as simple as using Google Apps? That's what KissFlow is all about. It runs on Google App Engine and leverages the power of it, but the user interface is very simple as Google Apps. Let's take a quick look at why we are claiming it to be so simple. Now, we have this company called .NET Enterprises, which wants to automate its travel claim workflow. So it asks our superhero, Bruce Wayne, to create a workflow for travel claim. Now, KissFlow gives you a very simple 5-step wizard. First, you name the process. Then you define the form elements that you want to capture part of the travel claim. I have the purpose of travel, description, place, expense type. I can also create new parameters like, for example, travel date, right? Travel date will be a date field, and I can make it as a required field, and I can save this. Next, we can create another parameter for capturing the reimbursement amount, right? So let's say this is amount, and we will make it as a number field, and we will make it as a required field. I can save it. So you can create any such forms that you would need for a workflow. It could be a travel claim workflow. It could be a form capture for customer feedback and so on. So once we define this form, the next step is to create the workflows, right? So typically, travel claim workflow will have two steps of workflow. First, we will define the first step as manager approval. Like for example, you will send it to your manager, right? So let's type manager approval, and let's assign this to Selina Kale. Selina Kale is Catwoman, so let's assign this to our Catwoman. And you can see, as we typed Selina Kale, we didn't have to do any integration code to pull in user information from Google Apps. Instead, it automatically got synchronized, and all of them happens out of the box inside KissFlow. So in the second workflow step, we will create finance approval. So we will say finance approval, and let's assign this to finance department, right? So instead of assigning it to a single user, like for example a manager, you can assign it to a user group, an email group, where any user in that group can work on this particular item. That's the idea of assigning it to finance group. So that's it. In just a couple of minutes, we were able to create a form, and then we were able to create workflow, and then we can publish it to all the end users. Now this is how the end user screen will look like, right? It has a very similar look and feel like Gmail. When I click on initiate request, I'll be able to see travel claim part of it. I can click on initiate request, and I will be able to see the exact similar user interface as stage 2 that we defined form for, right? So let's fill in the purpose. Travel to G-Days Mumbai, right? And the place would be Mumbai, and expense type would be engineering expense. We came all the way to learn, so let's ask engineering to bear this travel expense, and let's select the date as today, 12th, and the amount as probably 2,500. Now here is another cool part of integrating with Google products. If you click on Google attached docs, you will be able to see the travel documents. So for example, the Barcelona cab attachments as well as the flight ticket will come part of this Google Docs attachment. So let's attach these two documents, and I can submit this item. So once I submit this item, this will move to the manager approval, right? So the manager approval will be done by Selina Kale. So if I go on to Selina Kale's login, I will be able to see the request for travel. I click on it, I can see the progress of the item. It says it was initiated by Bruce Wayne at 11:40 a.m. and it's waiting for manager approval from Selina Kale. I can see the entire item as well as the attachment if I want, and I can click on approve. So if I click on approve, then this item moves from Selina Kale to finance department. You get a feel for it. Within 3 minutes, we were able to create a workflow, test the end-to-end workflow, right? That's the purpose of workflow. Now, why do we capture all of these elements? Because we'll be able to create reports and get insights into the data that we collect in the workflow. So let's click on reporting tab. Now, magically, you can see without having to do any coding at all, I can see the travel claim workflows by month on month, and also split up based on what I have initiated versus what I have participated in and the total number of completed items. Let's click on the completed items. So the 27 is the number of items that have been completed till now. I'll be able to filter all the items based on the expense type, for example, engineering expense, and also based on the place. Now, what is this whole idea of doing this demo? One, you get to create new products like this in different expertise that you would have. Like for example, it could be task management system, it could be workflow system, it could be a CRM system. When you build a product very simple, it has the ability to transform an existing industry into a completely new different way on cloud. So keep it simple and smart, and have a product which has seamless experience with Google products. Especially if you look at Google Mail, Google Docs, you can see the power of your product having all the coolness of Google products, right? And then run it on a scalable cloud infrastructure, especially on Google App Engine and Cloud SQL. It's a fantastic product. I will be taking a session immediately after this talk in track 2. If you want to listen to how to create new cloud products, that would be the session you should listen to. So come back, you are all great developers. I would love to get feedback from you as well. So that's it for my talk today. We also launched a workflow contest called War of Workflows. If you are a developer who is interested in creating new workflows, you can create new workflows, and then you can get to win an Nexus 7 tablet. So all the best. Thanks for your time. Back to Neelesh.
Thanks a lot, Mani. Thanks a lot, Mani. And as a small token of appreciation, this to Vivek and this to Mandy. Thanks. You also can win these marks. So before I take your leave, I have 3 things to say. One, we are already leading on Twitter. The handle is #GIndia, and I think we are in top 3 if I'm not mistaken. And please make sure tweet a lot so that we top in India by the end of the day. So this is one thing. Second thing, how many of you have Android devices right here, right now? So I'm going to tell you what you are supposed to do throughout the day. Can I have my cell phone projected on? Many of you will probably know this, but just for everybody's interest, this is what, you go to Google+, you go to the events, so okay, you go to the events, Google+, and enter in the make sure that the party mode is checked on. Is working over there? Okay, so go to the events, you will see G Mumbai event, click on this, go to the all the way bottom and make sure that party mode is checked on. Once you turn on the party mode, any picture that you take with your Android device will be automatically uploaded to the G India Plus page, and we will be monitoring all these pictures, and the best picture will get the best pick award, surprise, but some award that you should make sure that you do throughout the day. And that is, please have fun. Find out what is the place where you'll have fun, whether it's talking to Googlers, whether it's attending tracks, whether it's the food and beverage area, but just go there and have fun. The reason is that we all Googlers and all our friends from Viscraft have been working really, really hard on this event throughout last 3 months with only one goal in mind, to make your day memorable. And if there is one single way to pay us back, then it is by making sure that you have fun. Please remember, this day is not going to come in your life again. And then later on you'll regret that, oh, there was a Google event and I just went over there, I did some time pass, I couldn't even have fun. So please have fun and utilize the best of your time. Thanks a lot, and over to Abbas for the announcements.